Der Technoclub lebt immer noch, eine New Location im Monza Club. Die 4. Generation startet heute und am Start Thaler 2XLC, Leon Bollier und Temple One. Und bevor wir jetzt in das Interview starten, schauen wir mal das DJ-Set an von Temple One. Ja, an meiner Seite Joe Garrett, aka Temple One, mein absoluter Lieblingsproduzent seit circa 1-2 Jahren. Danke, dass du heute Zeit genommen hast. Joe, thanks a lot for taking some time.
No problem.
You're my absolute favorite producer since 1 and 2 years. Every tune you make, it's always magical. I like every track you make. Do you have a producer that you can say the same thing? Every track you listen to more or less is something that you like?
Yeah, it's a lot of producers, depending on ideas that they do. I mean, generally in terms of like always looking forward to a release, so people like Jan Nielsen.
I think Orion Nielsen you said, right?
Yeah, I love his stuff, and Daniel Candy.
Okay.
Daniel Candy has a way of just doing a track and it just he's good at what he does. So
Du gibst heute dein Debüt hier. You're giving your debut in the Technoclub today. What has been your impression of this club so far?
Yeah, really good. I think it's got a sort of nice underground vibe and the sort of thing I'm used to back home in the UK, and yeah, it's definitely a place.
How would you describe the clubbing scene here in Germany to the UK?
I think they're more banging stuff in terms of not pace but just heavy beats, and they like their big source synths as well. I think the German crowd.
Where do the people party more, here or in the UK?
It's hard to say really. It's very. I think if I was going to say anything, I think Europe in general is very similar. If you go outside of Europe, it's it is different. But Europe generally, it's definitely the same sort of vibe going on. So it's better.
You witnessed the DJ set of Leon Bollier.
Yeah.
If you could describe him in one sentence, how would you describe him?
Fantastic producer. Knows how to provide an amazing set, and yeah, he's a nice guy as well. Really nice, down to earth guy. So, but yeah, he deserves everything he's got. He's really massive talent.
The first time you met Tala was in the Butane Club. It was Heaven's Gate night, I believe. How was that first meeting with him? Did you know who he was?
Yeah, no, I've heard of him. It was the first time I actually met him, but yeah, I'd known him for like years before that. The name and the Technoclub brand, and I was very familiar with his tracks and a big fan of his tracks.
What does Tala 2XLC mean to you as a DJ producer?
He's got a massive sort of legendary status behind him. The fact he's been doing it for like before I was born, and just speaking to him about his experiences and stuff, and it's incredible. Like a guy still doing it now and trying to keep up with the scene and everything. It's amazing. So. Your
favorite Tala track is The Air That I Breathe?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Why do you like that?
I don't know. I think it was the sort of mood of it. The vocal on it was perfect, and I don't know. It was just that tune in it and the vocal, and
if you were in the studio with Tala, how would a Tala Temple One track sound like in the year 2011?
Well, I don't know. Probably it'd be very my half melodic, but on Tala's side, it could be quite sort of heavy beats, but maybe at a lesser tempo, but something in between, and something that would work.
Last year you had the chance to remix one of a classic Tala track, Shine.
Yeah.
How difficult was it to get this remix the way you wanted to in the Temple One sound?
Yeah, it was a challenge. Obviously, it was a big track. It was a classic track, and I was obviously a big fan of the original, and it was definitely a pleasure to be asked to remix that. And I knew I had an idea in my head, like I wanted to sort of like just take the main elements from the original and just put them in a 2010 sound, more sort of like, you know, have the breakdown and you know, sort of driving beat, and you know, but just the main part with the pad that I really worked on was to sort of give that rise feel. You know, I think that was one of the best elements of the track, and to sort of do that with the sort of like pads that I do, it sort of worked really well. So I sort of.
How did Tala like it?
Yeah, I think he liked it alright. He didn't complain, so said he liked it. So yeah, it's good.
You're also a DJ. You're known more as a producer.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing for you when Tempo 1, the DJ, is mixing the music?
When I'm mixing as a DJ, the most important thing,
yes.
Track selection. I think in terms of knowing what to play at the right time and knowing what vibe it's going to bring to the floor, and you know, if you're playing a lot of exclusive stuff, but just knowing, you know, it's, like I say, the track selection. A good track is a good track. I know it's not obvious putting a good track in there, but like to me, it's sort of like I'll, you know, spend hours on like looking through promo and saying like, oh, no, it's not good enough, but you know. So yeah, main thing for me is track selection has to be like tell a story. So yeah.
One of your, or the track that inspired you most is Out of the Blue, the classic System F track.
Yeah.
What do you like most about this track? It's very old, but
I think it was one of the first tracks when I was getting into trance. I mean, I was probably into trance a couple of years before that came out, but in terms of the sort of electronica sort of sound of it, and the big spacey, uplifting, happy, melodic, you know, it was, you know, really inspirational to me. I think it's sort of like I associate a lot of tracks like that with good times as well, and I think back then when you think back and you like, it's a really inspirational track. So.
Yeah, I listened last night to, I think, one of your first remixes for Alex Morph.
Yeah.
I love trance.
Yeah.
And I interviewed him recently, and I asked him again about that remix, and he still, you know, was very fond of it. How has your sound developed since? I think 2007 was that song, your remix.
Yeah, it was 2007.
I Love Trance. How has your sound developed since then?
I'd say obviously more on the production side of things. Always trying to improve the production, trying to get the best sound quality, and you know, trying to push the sort of, you know, not just make good trance, but make, you know, the best, and to try and push it that way, and you know, have the, you know, best melodies in it. And but no, I think I'm taking inspiration from, you know, the sort of current sounds of dance music in general. Or any sort of music, I suppose, contemporary stuff and whatnot. Yeah, just adding it to my track. So I think, yeah, production and, you know, inspiration from current sounds. But yeah, definitely trying to explore, yeah, taking things forward. So I think, yeah, from a production point of view, from back then to now, you know. Yeah, I've sort of made that sort of gap, I suppose. Yeah.
Last year you had 13 remixes, which was a lot. This year you're concentrating more on original works.
Mm-hmm.
What can we expect from you in the next months? I believe you have a few tracks done.
Yes, original work. Yeah, no. Yeah, I did a lot of remixes last year.